Boys and girls, it's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video, a true hoot and a holler, if you will. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Drop a like if you do. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also don't forget to go follow my new Instagram at @theGBLN. I'll have that linked in the comments as well as the description. My old one just got banned, so be sure to follow my new one. I'll show some love. Hey, real quick, before we dive into the video, let's take a moment to talk about our friends at MyBookie. Head over to MyBookie today and sign up using code GOBLIN to get in on all the action. Between a bunch of different sporting events from UFC 276 all the way to things you couldn't even imagine being on this website, they've got it all. Just head over to MyBookie today and sign up using code GOBLIN to receive your first deposit bonus. Good luck to everyone out there, and remember, bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Big shout out to them. Now let's dive into the video. So this video is actually a remaster of a previous video that I had to delete. The original video was posted on August 22nd, 2016, as you guys can see by the screenshot on screen. And this video only ever got about 4,000 views. I was going through my video vault the other day. I still have all of these videos I had to take down. And I realized, I was like, this is one that I feel deserves a retelling. Because after watching this video again, it was like having a flashback. I remember this day like it was yesterday. So let's dive right into it. Now, this happened way while ago, right? This was in my early stages of my drug use, okay? This happened in the summer of 2016. So at this point, I was still 17. I wasn't even legally an adult yet at this point. I was a pretty young kid making really stupid young kid decisions, and this was one of those. See, back on this particular day, I didn't have a car to drive, right? So I had to figure out how to get around. I've touched on this in some of my older videos, but Uber used to give out these discount codes where you could just make a new account and get a $20 ride for free with no minimum purchase, and it would even cover the tip. It would cover everything, not just the ride. So this shit was OP. I was abusing this to go hang out with my friends. And on this particular day, I got myself one of those free Ubers over to my buddy Mike's house. And once I had gotten to Mike's house, we were chilling out a little bit, and I realized pretty quickly that we had next to nothing to get intoxicated on. Mike had a case of beer, but that was it, and it was awful beer at that. But you know what? Now I'm going to let you guys take a wild guess as to what kind of beer this could have been. What kind of beer could my young high school self afford, or been willing to steal? What kind of beer were me and my friends drinking back in high school? I'm going to give you a hint. It was not an IPA. It definitely wasn't Corona. I'm going to give you another hint. It starts with a P and ends with an R. In the middle, there's a B. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. PBR, baby. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now listen, okay? As much as I slander this beer, you know what? It's tried and true. It's there for you when the other beers won't be. When you have $5 in your pocket, PBR will approach you and say, we'll make sure you don't remember this day ever happened. And I appreciate that. So immediately, we start cracking a few of these cans open. Now, I had absolutely no weed. I had no other drugs on me. So Mike and I pretty quickly start hitting up some other people and seeing if maybe we could get some sort of function together. Truth be told, I don't even know why I went to Mike's house on this day, because we had nothing to fucking do. I had no drugs. He had no drugs. We had no money. I didn't even know how I was supposed to get home if it weren't for Uber. I didn't have enough money to, call an actual cab, My dad sure as hell wasn't driving me home. That guy hated my friends, right? So I was down bad at this point. I keep hitting up my homies, and lo and behold, the man himself, Sam, ends up being the one to respond first. Now, Sam is always down to kick it. This guy I've been friends with for so long, and unlike Mike, me and Sam actually still kick it. I mean, I know this guy to this very day, so we go way back. But at this point, back in 2016, Sam and I were kind of new friends. I hadn't known him for very long. I bought weed off him a few times, hadn't really kicked it with him much. But he hit me back, and he was like, yo, I'm down to hang out. And I'm like, bet. Sounds fantastic. Come on through. He mentioned that he had a little bit of weed, and he also had some bars. That got us excited because, A, anyone bringing weed through is welcome. We didn't care about the quality back then. If that shit was smokable, we're smoking it. I don't care if it was CBD weed. We're puffing it, right? 2, he said he had bars. That was very exciting for us because back then, we had nothing else to do. Absolutely nothing. Now, I had already, gone through my Xanax phase at this point. My Xanax phase was actually towards the end of the prior year, towards the end of 2015. But at this point, I was just kind of a mad mosh pit of drugs. So I was willing to take Xans. I was willing to do pretty much anything. So Sam hops in his car and he whips on over, and he had just gotten a car. For the longest time, Sam didn't have a car. In fact, he would ride around on his skateboard going absurd distances on it. It was pretty impressive. I gotta give props. He's pretty good on the skateboard. But there was, to give you guys an idea, Sam's old house was easily no less than 5 miles away from our high school. Behind our high school, where there was a little skate park nearby, pretty close to it. Close enough where you could walk to this skate park from our school. Now, Sam would skate from his house to this skate park and back. That is 10 miles of skating total. And he would do it casually. He would just, he'd never dread it. If you asked him to hang out and he was at his house and you were near the skate park, he would pull up and not even ask for a ride. This guy was insane. He was superhuman. I don't know how he did this shit. But at this point, he had finally gotten a car. I don't know if it was his car or it was his mom's car. I assume it was his mom's because it was really nice. He pulled up and he's in this brand new Honda Civic. I'm talking, this thing was sparkling. It was so new. It was gorgeous. He pulled up with the Xans. He pulled up with the weed. So we were ready to fucking rumble. We were like, yo, this is lit. Let's go. Now, the only issue we were facing once Sam arrived was the fact that Sam didn't have very much weed. He brought less than a gram. I mean, enough for one tiny little blunt. And back then, none of us had glass pieces or anything. So the way we would conserve our weed is to smoke out of little chillums. So Mike busts out a chillum, and we start passing that bad boy around. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I haven't tapped a chillum in probably 3 years at least. It's been a long time for me. But when I was younger, chillums were absolutely clutch. Heroic. A true lifesaver. So Mike busts out his chillum and we start packing it up and we toss Sam a beer. He's like, yo, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Now he busts out the Xans and he's like, hey, I can't give them away for free, but I got you guys for $6 a Xan, which, back then when we had no plugs wasn't even that bad of a deal. Nowadays, yeah, that might not be the greatest, but I mean, back then, that was a pretty fair price. We were like, hey, appreciate it, my boy. They were the 2 milligrams, the ladders, the classics. Now, I, at this point, opted not to take one yet, but I was planning to later into the night. It was still kind of early into the day. I'd only had a couple beers, and I wanted to get a little more drunk before I popped a Xan and just completely set myself off, right? Just absolutely lost control. Pro tip number 1 here, never mix Xanax and alcohol. Terrible time every time. Just genuinely a waste of both substances. So, we're chilling out, we're ripping this chillum, and we run out of weed pretty quickly. I mean, we were chain smoking this chillum because it's a chillum. It's one of those things where you take one hit, maybe 2, and then it's cashed, it's donezo. So we ran out of weed pretty quickly, and, while we were chilling out, I noticed that Sam definitely appeared to be kind of fucked up. He was talking a little slowly, he was kind of slurring, but also I've known Sam for a while, and I know that he's been on medication that would make him like that too, so it wasn't that unusual. Even back then at this point, I mean, I still knew he'd been to plenty of functions, but it was common knowledge that this guy always just seems like he's zooted, That's how he was as a person, so I didn't notice anything too off quite yet. Now, we decided to go grab ourselves a little bit more weed, and I know exactly where to go for it. I mentioned to Sam and Mike, I'm like, yo, we can go to Cody's house. I can grab off his brother right now. All we got to do is just get a little bit of money together, So we're all trying to figure out how to get some money together. I text my mom. I pulled a classic. I pulled the OG card out of just asking for a couple bucks. I'm like, listen, my dad is not folding for that shit, okay? Even when I wasn't living with my mom, she would still help me out, which I appreciated. But my dad was not folding for that shit, so I had to text my mom. I text my mom, and I'm like, hey, can I just get $15 for some McDonald's with the boys, And of course, her being clutch, she sent it on over. Now, Sam also had a little bit of money, and Mike couldn't get any money, but that was okay. We were at Mike's house. He was hosting us, so of course, we got him. You know what I'm saying? Me and Sam, we got together about $30, which was going to be enough to grab us a little eighth. A nice little eighth, too, the high-quality shit. We could get a cheaper eighth of some boo-boo, sure, for $25.
Introducing Meta Glasses.
Hey, Meta, any last-minute tables for 2 tonight?
Sure, there's a great Italian restaurant 15 minutes away.
Hey, Meta, where's the nearest flower shop?
5 minutes away, straight down Broadway, past the bodega. Their lilies are trending on Instagram. Just saying.
Hey, Meta, Am I forgetting anything else?
How about setting a calendar reminder for next year?
Meta glasses, available in more than 20 styles.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
$20 and save the extra $5-10. But when you're buying this small of an amount, you might as well go for the quality. I mean, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So I hit up Cody and I'm like, hey, I'm with a couple homies. Is it cool if I come through and grab some weed? We can even maybe kick it at your place and smoke a little bit. And he's like, yeah, sure. Just come through whenever. I'll be chilling. So I let Sam and I let Mike know that we're good to go. We all go hop in Sam's car, and this is where shit really got bad. Now, I didn't realize how fucked up Sam was until we got in his car. Now, we're riding in his car, and the drive from Mike's house to Cody's house is not far. Honestly, if you had a little bit of stamina, you could walk it for sure, I mean, it's nothing crazy. But, because of the way the roads are laid out, it is about like a 15-minute drive, But if you were walking and taking shortcuts, it's not very long at all. So we didn't have much distance to clear here. Almost as soon as we get out of the fucking driveway, immediately Sam is driving like he has brain damage. I'm not talking like, oh, you're a little over on, the other lane there. Oh, you're going a little slow. Nah, dude. I'm talking like this guy's going through the neighborhood and stop signs just don't count. He blows the first one. I'm like, okay, maybe he missed it. Then we get out of, Mike's little subdivision and get onto the more main road. He blows that stop sign out too. And I'm like, okay, all right. Maybe he didn't notice the second one, too. Now we're on the main fucking road. I'm getting worked up just talking about this because I'm not going to lie, I was pissed at Sam for putting me in the car. This was like, granted, I've driven fucked up plenty of times when I was younger. Very stupid of me. I should have never done it, But I would try to never put other people in a position where they're in the car with me when I'm doing that. I'm not trying to justify me doing that because it was a dumb thing to do when I was young. But at the same time, I would try to avoid having people in the car with me when I was that fucked up, Granted, sometimes it would occur, but I was a dumb kid and so were the rest of us, Shit happens, man. But either way, at least I was able to learn from it. But either way, back on topic here. So, Sam is on the main road at this point, and we're in the far right lane. And we're driving, we're going kind of slow, which was our saving grace. And Sam gets up on the curb a little bit. We feel this little, kind of grind. He curbed the fuck out of his wheels. But he didn't just curb them. It's not like his wheels just touched the curb. No, this guy was all the way up on the curb after a certain amount of time. I'm talking like 2 of his wheels are elevated and the car is slanted. And we are just driving. If there was a sign on the side of this road, he would have fucking crashed. But luckily, as soon as he did that, me and Mike were both like, yo, dude, are you all right, dude? Are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm fine. So he gets back on the, off the curb and on the road. And at this point, I'm a little scared. I'm nervous. I'm sitting here and I'm like, bro, this man is fucked up. Like, if we have to get on if we decide to go anywhere else, we're dying. If we hypothetically had to get on a highway right now, 50-car pileup, we're fucked, right? So I'm pretty scared at this point. But we only have maybe 6 or 7 more minutes until we get to Cody's house. So how bad could it be, I figure? Now, we turn off the main road and we go on a slightly less big road. It's 1 lane on each side. And once we get onto this road, listen, it was broad day. I don't know how the fuck there was no one that saw this, or at least no one that stopped for it. But we turn onto this road. 1 lane each way, no guardrails on the side, not even a curb, actually. It was a very, scuffed road, right? We turn onto this road, and we're driving down, and on the right, there's a row of houses, and on the left is just a cornfield, The classic Illinois the Illinois layout, Cornfield, house, nothing else to look at. We're driving down this road, 1 lane each side, and we once again veer kind of off the road to the right side. Luckily, we didn't go into oncoming, thank fuck, but we veered off to the right a little bit, off the road, so now Sam's tires are in the grass. We're doing this, and I don't notice it first. What
made me notice was when we slowed down and we hit a fucking sign. Now, it wasn't like a giant stop sign or anything. If we hit a stop sign going the speed we were going, we would have absolutely destroyed the fucking car. This thing probably would have been total. It was a wooden sign. I don't know what sign it was because this motherfucker just kept going. But I looked back after we hit that, and there, lo and behold, there was this wooden pole that was just snapped. Just absolutely snapped. My guess is maybe it was like a realtor sign or something. I have no idea what was on the sign. But I didn't even realize that we were off the road that much until we hit this fucking sign. So after that, I'm like, yo, Sam, pull the fuck over. And Mike is pissed, too. Mike punches him in the arm. He's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you good? Like, pull over or some shit. We're both telling him to pull over. So he goes a little further up. And he makes a right. It's the next right we can make into this neighborhood. Now, the problem is when he makes a right into this neighborhood, right on the other side of us, like, there's two options you're presented with, right? Where we made the right, you could also make a left. And if you go into the left instead of the right, there's a fire station. Now, that doesn't sound concerning. However, at this particular fire department, there are cops in that parking lot sitting there as a speed trap at pretty much all hours of the day. I didn't bother to look over, so I don't know if there actually was a cop there or not, but my hunch is there probably was. There was a good chance there was. So I don't know how the fuck Sam didn't end up in prison along with the rest of us. But nevertheless, Sam hits the right and we go into the neighborhood and he pulls over. Now, I asked Sam, I'm like, bro, are you okay? And this is when he finally tells me, he's like, dude, my bad. I could barely fucking see right now. Now, that was one of the scariest things that anyone has ever said to me while I was riding in a fucking car. This man has been driving us the whole time. I don't even know how he got there, if I'm being totally real. I don't know if maybe he took more Xans while he was on the way or, like, what happened. If he took more, maybe, like, when he was in the driveway, or maybe we didn't notice him taking more. But he was definitely more fucked up at this point than he was when he first got to Mike's house. Like, yeah, he seemed a little zooted at Mike's, but also that was just typical Sam. I mean, the guy just always kind of, even when he was bone sober, you know, I'd known for a fact he was bone sober, he still totally seemed high. He could pass as intoxicated. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, Sam, what the fuck? And he tells me he can't see. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are you like, what did you do? Like, are you good? And he's like, oh, dude, I'm really barred out and drunk. And I'm like, what? Because the thing is, he didn't drink any beer with us, really. I mean, he cracked maybe like one can, but I was like probably 2.5. I didn't finish my third one, so I was like almost 3 cans deep. I had a light buzz going. Sam had 1 can in front of us. There's no way this kid is drunk. But then I remembered, we don't know how much Xanax this guy took. He could have taken 3 of those fucking ladders, and that 1 beer would just be enough in that concoction to send him off the edge. And I think that's exactly what happened here. Because once he pulled over, I was like, bro, chill the fuck out. Let me drive. We're like 5 minutes away. We get out of the car, and I realize we still haven't checked the damage to it. We have no idea. So I get out, and I go to the front. Dude, this guy's bumper is fucked up. Like, this is not a big car. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a Honda Civic, and it looked pretty new. It was maybe a 2014 or 2013. Really good-looking car. We get out and go to the front, and his fucking front right side bumper / light is fucked up. Now, luckily, he kind of clipped it from the side, so it was only the corner of the bumper and the light that were fucked up. But the little corner of his light was smashed, broken, shattered in. The little corner of his bumper was hanging off. It looked like it was detached. It wasn't quite dragging on the ground, but it was fucked up. There was a big spot where you could tell exactly where he hit it, where the paint was missing, right? There was even little wood chips still on the fucking car. And I could only imagine what a split in half fucking 2x4 sticking out of the ground would do to the undercarriage of your vehicle. Probably not good. I don't know whatever ended up happening to that car, but I'd imagine that single incident there probably did more damage than we could see. In particular to the undercarriage, because, I mean, this dude drove right fucking over it. Like, I'm not talking he, like, bumped it, was like, oops. No. He knocked it over and just went over it. Now, thank God this was some shitty wood, dude. Shout out whoever put that sign up, because if that thing was a little firmer, we'd probably all be fucked right now. So shout out to that guy. I'm looking at the damage. I'm like, damn, bro, like, this is kind of fucked. And Sam's looking at it. He just kind of laughs. He's just like, oh, yeah, man. You know, like, he's just laughing about it. And I'm like, bro, it's just, like, what do you mean? Like, didn't you just get this car? And he's like, yeah, bro, it's my mom's. And I'm like, dude, your mom's gonna beat your fucking ass. And she sure did, but I mean, that's not really relevant to the video. I didn't see this guy again for like 2 months because he was just like on lockdown.
But either way, I get in and now I'm driving the car. Now, thank God that I hadn't taken any Xans yet. And Mike, as far as I'm aware, I don't think he'd taken any either at this point. So if me and Mike had taken those Xans at this point, we would have been fucked. We would have been so fucked. None of us could have driven. Or if we did try to drive, we probably would have been just as fucked up as Sam. So I got us over to Cody's house, and Cody immediately notices how fucked up Sam is when we walk in. He's like, yo, like, what's he on, bro? You know, Cody and his brother both notice and start making comments about it. They're like, dude, he's fucked up. Is he all right, you know? We get Sam some water, kind of sit him down and chill at Cody's and hang out there for most of the rest of the day because we're like, dude, we're not letting this guy drive home anytime soon, you know? Like, we gotta keep this dude locked here, you know what I'm saying? This guy's a fucking menace right now. I have no idea how he drove over to Mike's house totally fine. It's like, if he was in that condition the whole time, that was a miracle. I don't know how, bro. But either way, after this day, I will admit, I don't think I've ever ridden. No, I take that back. I have very few times, only out of necessity, rode in a car where Sam was driving. Because this guy, even when he's sober, he's a pretty wild driver, honestly. I mean, like, I've had situations where he was following me to a place or I was following him. This guy drives like a madman. And some of my friends, they drive crazy when they're sober, you know, because they have road rage. Sam doesn't have road rage. I think he just drives kind of crazy because A, he's either super fucked up, or B, he's lightly fucked up and I can't quite tell. I mean, I don't know if this dude's ever sober. He's a madman. But either way, this was a horrifying incident. I was scared, boys. I'm not going to lie. I felt the need to remaster this video because I felt like it was a banger of a story. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
Oh, I got to share this with you, but this is incredible. So we have a new effort to catalog and document all of the various war crimes committed by Israel. Because as you know, there's been this effort that's underway to try to purge the internet of all of the evidence of genocide committed by Israel. It's been an all systems go effort. The Zionist lobby is going at it hardcore. They want to erase all the videos of innocent people being bombed and kids being shot and starvation and all these atrocities. And so you've had to have good people come together to try to save all this stuff and document it so history is very clear on what went down in Gaza, and we know that this was a new Holocaust, okay? So let's take a look at this. This is actually super important. Here we go.
A digital archive documenting Israel's war crimes and genocide in Gaza has officially been launched. And I can't show the videos here because they are far too graphic, but there are tens of thousands of pieces of video evidence of Israeli war crimes in Gaza. ArchiveGenocide.com went live this week with nearly 65,000 videos, 18,000 photos, all with geolocation data and victim information to showcase Israel's war crimes in Gaza, all in one place that is easily accessible for journalists, content creators, or people just looking to gain information about the genocide in Gaza. This is a searchable database of Gaza genocide documentation with a source index spanning more than 300 journalists. It features a live map and minute-to-minute updated victim list, making this the most comprehensive archive of the Zionist genocide. The platform was built by a collective under the name Israel Exposed. This is a network of grassroots activists. They built the platform to ensure a permanent preservation of Israel's war crimes and genocide in Gaza, despite Israel's frequent telecommunication blackouts, targeting and murdering of journalists and media workers. This website, this documentation allows for long-term legal accountability. It provides the public infrastructure for prosecution of Israel's war crimes. Israel has tried so hard to bury the evidence by killing the journalists in Gaza who would document these atrocities. But they can't bury it anymore. We all have access to this. They can no longer change the narrative as we all have access to a comprehensive evidentiary dossier. If you ever get gaslit into doubting the genocide in Gaza, go to this website, Archive Genocide, and see for yourself. Remember, Israel is trying to fight a war front in your mind via false information, and they're losing because of tools like this.
And by the way, Netanyahu admitted that. Netanyahu admitted that. He said, we're fighting a 7-front war, we need to open an 8th, or we're fighting an 8-front war, we need to open the 9th, and that's the information warfare. He says, we're losing the information warfare, and now it's time to catch up on that front. But his idea of catching up on that front is to literally bully the social media outlets into pulling down all the stuff they don't like, pull down all the criticisms of Israel, pull down all the documented evidence of genocide and war crimes. That's what he means. And by the way, they've succeeded in many fronts. Donald Trump has had his MAGA billionaire Epstein-class cronies take over for a lot of these social media platforms. And the people who take over are very, very openly pro-Israel, pro-genocide, pro-billionaire, pro-MAGA, right? And this is an across-the-board effort. Why do you think Barry Weiss is running CBS and the Ellisons own it? Why do you think the Ellisons run TikTok now? Why do you think they're gaining power over CNN next? Why do you think that is? Because they are trying to set the narrative. They are trying to define the parameters of the debate. And they are trying to make sure that you never know the full truth about what happened in Gaza. And we know it because we all lived through it. But what we need to fear is, in the long run, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in the long run? Are they going to successfully wipe out the memory of this stuff? Are they going to try to scrub the internet of all the documented evidence of their crimes? And that's why this is so important, is that it's an attempt to say you cannot hide the truth. You cannot hide the truth. We're documenting the truth. You can go look at it. By the way, if you do go look at it, you will learn very quickly that Israel is a terrorist rape state. That's what it is. And I use those words very purposefully, okay? We know there's been a number of instances of Palestinian hostages being raped. And then what happened? The people who did the raping became national heroes in Israel, and there were right-to-great protests when they tried to hold them accountable for a split second, okay? That's what happened. We have the mass death law where they're trying to murder every Palestinian hostage. There's thousands of them, and some of them just threw rocks when they were children, and they still want to kill them. And they passed a law that's going to kill them, okay? By the way, the genocide is still happening. Just now, Israel's killed so many of the journalists on the ground that we don't get as much video evidence and as many pictures coming out of there because they've already killed 250 journalists or so. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. But this website is so important because it lays the history bare. It lays the facts out there bare for you to see. And everybody needs to know this. Everybody needs to be educated, because then you can mobilize politically to say, you have to cut off the money. You have to cut off the weapons. You have to hold Israel accountable. You have to arrest the fucking war criminals who run that disgusting country. That's what you have to do. And by the way, I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm as anti-war as they come. Nobody is more anti-war than me. I have a track record of being deeply anti-war. However, if there was ever a country you can actually make an argument for the international community to come together and militarily attack them, it would be against Israel, 100%, because they are completely and utterly unhinged. You cannot make a peace deal with them because they don't abide by it. They are liars through and through. And so what do you do with a country that is totally irrational, not good to their word, and they will not stop murdering everybody around them? Oh, I don't know. I think you defeat them. I think that's what you do. We learned this history lesson from fucking Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. That's who we learned this history lesson from. They're stealing parts of Syria. They're stealing all of Lebanon. They're taking all the West Bank. They're taking all of Gaza. I mean, they're doing another genocide in Lebanon, and virtually nobody's talking about it in Western media. That's why it's so important that you go and you look at all the documented evidence of this stuff, and you spread the word far and wide, and you do everything you can to cut off the money and cut off the weapons to Israel and arrest the fucking disgusting war criminals that run that place. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it is just out of this world what we witnessed. So shout out to the people who set this up. This is a very, very big deal. And look, the one thing that actually makes Israel panic is the war over knowledge, is the war over information. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the